Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. We are here with another episode of Dota, Dragon's Blood. Yeah, the last episode, sort of getting engrossed into the world of Dota. I went online not to check the lore because I wanted to avoid spoilers, but just to get an idea as to how vast the world of Dota actually is, and the fandom as well. It seems to be a huge following of passionate supporters for the series, and the video game, by extension. So I didn't realize how big this game actually was because I'd never heard about it prior to Netflix releasing the trailer. I mean, perhaps after completing the season, I'll go in and try to learn a bit more about the lore, because the very first episode, it was just a lot of things to actually take in. Still learning some of the names, so forgive me if I do mess some of that up. But so far, I mean, a lot of the characters have been very likable. Davion, and I have as far as protagonists are concerned, it's always tricky to do those. I guess this isn't technically shonen because it's a Western animation. But right off the bat, he sets himself apart from many of the shonen characters that we follow in anime. And I'm glad for that, because we do know some of them tend to fall into the similar tropes that you see being done over and over and over again. But I was very glad to see that Davion was very much different. And I did look into who did the animation for this, and it is actually Studio Mir who also animated The Legend of Korra, which I did love. I think that series had, Avatar Legend of Korra had some of the best action sequences and choreography in the entire franchise. It has my favorite villain in the entire franchise, which is Zahir, because he's just a very compelling villain. I mean, the only nitpick I had with Korra was just the CG giant robot at the very end of the last season. I'm hoping that I'm hoping that the similarities end up to that point, and we don't get anything like that in this series as well. But they did a phenomenal job animating Legend of Korra, and so far, as I mentioned in the last episode, I'm impressed that we got the high quality animation that we got in the very first episode, because typically what Netflix does is, or at least those producers and showrunners for the Netflix animated projects, what they normally do is, for the very first, at least first 1 to 4 episodes, the animation doesn't look particularly great, and then they save that budget for, later fight sequences, for the last boss, But I prefer when it's done this way. You need to captivate the audience and engage them from the very beginning. So I was very surprised, pleasantly surprised, to see that the first episode of Dota was so well done, and hopefully that is a sign that the rest of the episodes, the rest of the season will actually be the same. So very much excited, guys. So episode 2, let's check it out. He was rescued by the princess in the last episode, wasn't he? And he was completely naked. Oh, okay. I think he crawled out of the cave and was robbed, I guess. That's why he was naked. Damn bandits.
I'll have that sword. Fuck off. The sword's mine.
So they took all the shit. He's gonna be going to get it back. At least I suspect the sword broke when he fought the dragon initially, and he kept it. I don't know if maybe there's some attachment to that particular sword. That's not something you want to wake up to?
Say good. No. Don't worry. He wasn't going to eat you.
Really? Didn't look that way.
It's you. Princess.
Okay. She's strong. It just picked him up like it was nothing.
What's the last thing you remember?
A burrow. A cave.
Doesn't remember anything.
A dragon.
Terror Blade.
was that?
Dinner.
Okay. He's got quite the aim. Thought it was gonna be heading back to find the bandits, but I guess that's easier said than done. Could have at least gone back to the village and maybe gotten shoes or something. Marcy hasn't said a word. Does she not speak?
It will be nice to sleep in a real bed for a change.
Oh, not the one you're probably accustomed to.
It's gone downhill.
But it's better than sleeping out in the woods.
Daniel, is that you? A bit more clothing than the last time I saw you.
He's popular with the ladies.
Who was that charming woman?
No idea.
Tasha's knickers, it is you. Raise your cups, you sorry bastard.
They did point out in the last
Champion,
episode,
the
you know,
Dragon Knight,
he doesn't bother to learn their names apparently. Doesn't want to get attached, perhaps.
My finest suite. Make yourselves comfortable.
Well,
We're not staying here.
Only cheaper one is out back.
But I suppose this will do.
beggars can't be choosers. Come on.
We're looking for the black market.
What business do respectable ladies have in a place like that?
Private business.
I meant no offense.
In your condition, no.
Was that in your stomach? How?
I don't know.
The fuck? Did you just heave up this ring?
What are the odds? Come on.
You did this!
No.
They found dragon armor around the bodies. Davion the Dragon Knight.
It's not possible.
So he killed those guys that attacked him in the woods? And they were robbing him. You have some nerve.
Tomorrow, midday, my brothers and me, we're coming for you. You're a dead man. You hear me? A dead man.
Your lady
I don't
friend
think that'll cure whatever he's got.
I told them to wait for you, but they were quite insistent.
I get the sense they can take care of themselves.
Yeah, they're coming back midday, so you might want to not be here.
Listen, do you have a sword or something I can borrow?
You're not really gonna fight them.
Bare-handed if I have to.
He doesn't have a choice. I mean, they're not giving him one.
They mean something. I don't run from beast or man. Even if they are your customers.
God's luck then. You survive, I'll hang your portrait on the wall.
May I help you, madam?
Okay.
Nikto.
The black market looks a hell of a lot more posh than I thought it would be.
I see.
Figured I was expecting some underground
Loud inside.
market of some sort. Oh. I see they trade in all manner of things.
For information. I was told you might know the whereabouts of certain rare artifacts.
I know many things, but such information comes at a price.
Mirana, once Princess of the Moon.
I guess he couldn't be trusted after all.
And now, Princess of Nothing.
Should have let them kick his ass at the bar earlier.
My client happens to be from the Helio Imperium. Your uncle, and he wants you so very badly.
Guess I should have waited for Davion.
Got in a bit of trouble, I hear.
Nothing a good length of sharp steel can't solve. What can I get for this?
You crazy? I'm not touching that.
I think everyone in this town knows this guy. The guy that made the threats.
I know you are, and who wants you dead. And I don't like me odds on collecting that debt. Sorry, Davion. Coin or nothing.
I guess maybe they're well known around here. I saw her lift Davion. She can't be a normal servant, right?
More about your own welfare. Your men forgot to disarm me.
Yeah, I didn't think so. So much for her not lasting. He's lasting a hell of a lot longer than your men. Well deserved.
I'm here for information about my lotuses. Tell me where to find them. Or explain it to her.
I'd end him right there. I'm sorry. You got 2 chances. No.
So, you lose. Make room for players with coin.
Alright. Lost it. I guess this guy has no problem taking the ring. There must be an easier way to find a sword in a town like this. There must be some rusty sword hanging on some wall somewhere that collecting dust.
Certain artifacts of unique interest.
This depends on the artifact and the interest.
Lotuses from the Temple of Men.
Somehow I doubt that very much.
I cannot refuse an emissary of Salamene. However, I'm afraid no one has offered them for sale.
I don't believe it.
But perhaps a man I know can help. This to see him.
And what do I have to pay you to get it?
Please.
I'd rather my favor be returned in kind someday, princess, who may be more than a princess.
I don't know about that. I don't know what he may ask me for in the future. But I suppose she doesn't have a choice.
We're going to the Broken Peaks. You should too. Come with us.
I won't run from a fight. Even this one.
It's a silly... I don't see how that's dishonoring anything. It's a dumb bandit.
Best of luck to you, Dragon Knight.
Oh. That's nice of her. You'll need it more than she does. She seems quite more capable. I'm sorry. I'm not going down there to help him. He's being a stubborn fool.
Have something of mine.
I'll have your head too.
Oh, yeah, they are the same gang that has his stuff. I thought they were after him because he killed these guys, but I guess not. So where'd the ring come from? Okay, that guy didn't look human, so there are creatures there. He's getting the crap beat out of him. I guess maybe he's weakened after fighting the dragon because he was a lot more capable before. Yeah. He's giving her, telling her how to aim. healing. Yep. Oh, it's turning into like some sort of hybrid. That's not good. Problem. I was expecting him to turn into a whole ass dragon. Not this soon, but eventually. Ah. Maybe that is what will eventually happen. But he has no control in this form, though. Ah, that's his blade, right? Now you are the monster.
Davian.
What have I done?
You need to get as far away from here as possible. Oh, damn it. It's time to go.
Coming with us, or take your chances with them.
Where were they when he was just being attacked by a horde of bandits?
You're headed for the Broken Peaks.
Yes. To see a sage who lives there.
Looks like you need some answers as well, Davian.
The sage of yours. Do you think he knows anything about dragons? You're hurt.
It's nothing. I don't return empty-handed. See?
Where are they?
The loituses of Mene.
Alright, Dota Dragon's Blood, episode 2. Things are getting quite interesting. This world is... It's not what I expected initially. During the fight scene here with Devian and the bandits, they're actually fighting this cat. Like, one of the men among them was this cat-like looking creature. And I expected humans and elves and the typical, dragons, because that's what happens in a lot of similar stories that we've seen. But there are a lot of other creatures here too that I'm enjoying thoroughly. I'm just glad that there's just so much more in this world to actually make things a bit more interesting, right? It's not just humans and elves going against each other or anything like that. So interesting. Finally learned the princess's name, Mirana, and I think her sidekick's name is Marcy, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I mean, they have no choice but to travel together now. I didn't expect the dragon revelation this early. As I mentioned in the last episode, when I saw the fight, it reminded me a whole lot of Dragon's Dogma that Netflix released last year, and there were some similarities there in him, the protagonist becoming a dragon, but it didn't happen until the very end of the series. So I expected something similar here, in that he wouldn't see the transformation until towards the end of the season. So it's interesting. He learned about it right off the bat. He didn't change into a full-on dragon, but a humanoid version. He didn't have much control, so I do wonder if eventually it will progress to the stage where he's a full dragon, and perhaps lose his humanity in doing so. So He'll be traveling with Miranda now to the sage to hopefully find some answers. And I mean, those bandits had it coming. The only thing I was a bit confused about is how he ended up with the ring inside him in the first place. You know, they showed at the very beginning his being robbed. I thought maybe he killed those bandits, but he didn't. Those are the bandits that showed up at the very end here. They just robbed him and left him there. So how did he come to swallow a ring? Unless he did in fact change into the dragon form at some point and, you know, bid someone. Maybe it was the same group, and that group at the very beginning is different from this group that showed up here. So maybe he did kill a few of them, and you know, that's how he swallowed the ring. So that's the only explanation I can think of. But the princess, I'm curious to know her assistant, Marcy. How is Marcy that strong? The moment I saw her pick Davion's body up earlier on, I was like, she can't possibly be. I don't know if she's not human, or, you know, she's just masquerading, because we haven't heard her speak like at all. So I'm wondering, there must be something special about her. Perhaps she's not human and she just appears that way. Or maybe she's human and she's using magic of some sort. I mean, this world seems to be filled with from what we've seen in this episode, it's filled with a lot of other creatures outside of just humans. And in the way that magic works, they haven't explained completely how, you know, in terms of how the powers scale in this just yet. So we're seeing examples of it, you know, but not completely. For example, in Devian's companion that we had in the last episode, we haven't seen him since, but he traveled back to Dragon's Fold and using a spell that I imagine a teleportation spell would be maybe something very powerful, but I don't quite know yet. But as the series progresses, I imagine we'll see more of that, so we can tell, you know, what is happening, and, you know, how powerful these individuals are that we see casting these spells or performing certain actions. Davion himself, you know, he made some dumb choices this episode. He really did. I mean, a random bandit insulting you, or maybe it wasn't an insult now that I think about it. Perhaps it was because the bandit suggested that he killed other humans, and, you know, at the very least, what he said at the end of the episode here, in his mind, you know, he kills monsters, he doesn't hurt people. So maybe that is what triggered him, and why he wanted to stay, to, you know, for his honor's sake, I suppose. And that makes sense. That makes a lot more sense. So yeah, I still wouldn't have stayed. I mean, leave, move on. Especially because he didn't have any armor, didn't have any weapons. So it was still a dumb decision, although for the right reasons, you know. So yeah, I can't wait to see more of Davian's adventure. He has 2 companions now, so it's definitely reminding me a lot of you know, of Castlevania, and the witty banter between the characters, and I'm looking forward to that the most. Most interested to learn more about Marcy, because she has said literally nothing. But even with saying very little, she's you know, quickly becoming one of my favorites, with just through her actions and the things that she mutes. You know, it is just quite hilarious sometimes. So can't wait to see more of that. So be sure to post down below, let me know your thoughts are on this episode. Hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys for the next one.